Hello everybody, in today's video we're going to be going over some severe weather which is going to be taking place over the Northeast, especially in areas of central New England where we already have a enhanced risk of severe weather in place. We're going to be timing this out for you guys and giving you all the information you need to know, so make sure you are staying tuned all the way until the end. Here's a look at the current National Weather Service page, and as you can see, we have some excessive heat warnings in effect for parts of the Northwest and a little bit of the Mid-Atlantic. We have some heat advisories in that orange color for the Northwest and the Northeast, as well as some excessive heat watches in parts of Montana and some red flag warnings also in parts of Montana. We have some flood watches in effect for a little bit of Missouri, Kansas, Texas, and New Mexico, and other than that, we don't have many other watches or warnings currently in place. Yesterday we had a high temperature of 121 degrees in Death Valley, California, with a low temperature 9 miles south of Albany, Wyoming, where they were down to 28 degrees Fahrenheit. The highest rainfall report was in Kingfisher, Oklahoma, where they got up to 3.95 inches of rainfall, and there were no snowfall reports yesterday. Taking a look at the current Storm Prediction Center page, you can see that we have a slight risk which goes from Maine all the way into parts of Ohio. So that covers much of the Northeast, and then we even have an enhanced risk for today in parts of southern Maine, southern New Hampshire, southern Vermont, through much of Massachusetts, and a little bit of New York, Connecticut, and also Rhode Island. So we have that marginal risk in parts of central New England, and that's going to be the area where we're expecting the most severe of the storms. We're not going to have too much in the way of threats in terms of hail or tornadoes. It's going to be mostly just that wind threat. So taking a look at the individual risks according to the Storm Prediction Center, you can see that we have a 2% chance of tornadoes in parts of northern New England. But again, tornadoes are not going to really be the big threat for today. Taking a look at the hail outlook, again, we're not really dealing with a lot in terms of hail. We have a general 5% risk, but again, it's not a big concern today in terms of hail. And then when we look at the wind outlook, this is where we start to get a little bit more of that concern because we have a 15% chance in that yellow, which again goes from all the way from Maine down through West Virginia and Ohio, and then we have that red region, which is in central New England, and that's the same area that was in an enhanced risk. So you can definitely tell that the biggest threat out of this event is not going to be really the hail or tornadoes. It's going to be mostly wind and also some isolated flash flooding, because these storms will kind of train over the same area. So they're not going to really be moving too quickly. They'll be moving at a fairly slow clip, and because of that, some isolated flash flooding is a possibility. Taking a look at the excessive rainfall outlook, you can see that we have a 10 to 20% chance of flash flooding in this yellow area, which goes through the Ohio Valley for today. And then if we look at for tomorrow, we have that 10 to 20% risk, which goes from parts of New York and Connecticut all the way down into the Tennessee Valley there. So we have a little stripe where we have a risk of flash flooding for tomorrow. And again, that's going to be because we're dealing with potentially 2 to 3 inches of rain over that area, with pretty much constant rainfall for about a 6 or 12 hour time period. So they're just going to kind of sit over some of these same areas. Taking a look at the simulated radar, we're going to time out these storms for you. This would be around noon today Eastern time, and you can see that we have not a lot going on. We have a few pop-up storms or just showers in parts of northern New England and upstate New York, but really we're not dealing with anything significant. By 3 o'clock today, this is when we start to get some of these more severe storms. So they're starting to pop up in parts of northern New England, upstate New York, and Pennsylvania as well. But again, none of them are too severe by this point. If you're going to see tornadoes, it's going to be between 2 and about 5 p.m. Eastern time within this region right here. But again, tornadoes are at a quite low risk for today. We're not expecting any sort of outbreak. Maybe we get 1 or 2 very brief and weak tornadoes, but again, it's not going to be a big threat for today. Then if we look at 6 p.m. Eastern time, you can see that we have those storms now starting to head a little bit further to the south. So we have one line which is potentially going to set up between New York and the Ohio Valley, and then we have another line which is through Massachusetts, Connecticut, upstate New York, and also into New Jersey. So we have 2 different lines. This line to the south is going to be the more severe band of rainfall, and again, this would be by 6 p.m. tonight. Taking a look at right around 9 p.m. tonight Eastern time. You can see that we have still some of these storms along the coast, but it's over a fairly isolated area by this point. We have a bit more rain on the back end, but overall nothing that's going to be too major within this region. And then you can see those storms continue to head to the south by midnight, and you can see really nothing too major after about 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. Taking a look at the amount of energy in the atmosphere, the CAPE, which stands for Convective Available Potential Energy, you can see that we have values that are all above 500 to 1,000 within this area, and even within a large part of the Northeast, we're dealing with CAPE values that are going to be between about 2,000 and 4,000 over this entire area. So we have rather high amounts of CAPE and energy in the atmosphere, and this is really going to help these storms kind of start to get going within these regions. If we look at the high temperatures, you can see that we're dealing with high temperatures for earlier this afternoon. So we're dealing with between probably around 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. That's going to be the time when you get your high temperatures. And then the rest of the day, it'll be slowly cooling off because we're going to be dealing with these storms. You can see that we have high temperatures that are all going to be above 90 degrees and even approaching 100 degrees in some areas if you live along the coast. And then if you live further inland, that's where we're potentially just getting into the 80s. But either way, that's still rather warm in these areas, and that's definitely enough to support some of these thunderstorms. So we definitely have enough energy in the atmosphere, and we have some of those warm temperatures, so that should help these cloud tops rise a little bit more, which will allow some of these storms to develop a little bit better. If we look at the dew points as well, we have rather high dew points, and pretty much the entirety of the Northeast has dew points above 70, and you can even see that you get closer to the coast, and we're dealing with a few pockets of dew points near 74 degrees, 75, 76, even a few 77s popping up here and there. So you can see that we definitely have high enough dew points, so we definitely have enough moisture in the atmosphere. And looking at another metric, if we look at the amount of precipitable water for today, you can see that we have the precipitable water amounts between about 1.5 inches and about 2.5 inches over this entire area, and that's going to allow some of these heavier downpours to develop over some of these regions. So because we have the total amount of water in the atmosphere around 2 inches over some of these areas, again, we're going to be able to get most of that to come down to the surface in a rather fast manner, and because of that we could be dealing with some flash flooding. And you can see that where the storm set up is going to be where you're going to have the highest amount of precipitable water within those areas. So because of that, again, we're going to potentially be dealing with some flash flooding for these areas. Taking a look at the total rainfall, and you can see this is the high resolution model, so it looks a little bit scattered, but we're looking at a general 1 to 2 inches if you live up in the interior parts of the Northeast, so nothing too major within that area. If you look further to the south, so into parts of the Ohio Valley and then potentially for the mid-Atlantic coast, we have a few more pockets of about 2 to 4 inches of rainfall, so it's a little bit more of an issue in those areas. And most of that rainfall, by the way, is actually going to come tomorrow on Thursday. So tomorrow is going to be where most of that rainfall for areas further to the south is going to actually occur. And then you look at areas in central New England and southern New England as well, and we're dealing with the rainfall amounts that are going to be around 1 to 4 inches, and a few of these local areas could definitely pick up closer to 4, 5, even 6 inches if you get one of those storms to kind of just train over your same area. So that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Please consider liking the video, subscribing, and turning on notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.